Alright, so let's take a look at some theories about artificial intelligence. This lesson is probably the most important part of the course because we're going to talk about some of the basics and some of the most important bases of the artificial intelligence. Okay, let's start by saying, what is AI? So an AI is simply an algorithm that makes computer softwares or games think, and it just tells them how to think and how to reach their goal. So it's just like human beings. We have some data around us. We have some variables. We are in a situation. And so we decide based on these informations that we have. So we take the best action possible according to our knowledge. This is exactly the same thing for our AI. If you consider this, our AI, there are things that affect our tank in our game. There are bullets that are being shot at our AI. So our AI has this data that he will understand that these bullets are dangerous and they are coming towards him. So it has to dodge the bullets. Our AI knows that he can move right or move left. And it knows that it's a competitive game, so that it must actually destroy the other player, so it knows it has to shoot as well. So for our AI, this is the environment that he's in, and these are the variables that our AI is aware of. So it can't think outside this environment. So our environment is limited, our variables are limited, and so our actions are as well limited. So if we expand any of these variables, we can say, our AI will become much more complex. So as you can see that I have created a very simple game so that our environment is limited, our variables is limited, and our actions as well. By limiting the number of these variables, we can create much simpler AIs. Obviously, the theory of artificial intelligence is much more complex than that. I'm just showing you what I know and I have experience and what we need to actually implement an AI in Unity. You don't have to read a 1,000-page book of AI to learn how to create simple AIs in Unity. But of course, we'll get to that geeky part as well. The second part is how an AI works. To understand how an AI works, we have to take a look at the state machines. So state machine is, as the name suggests, it shows the states of the artificial intelligence, and each action it takes will change that state. Well, not all the time, but it most likely changes the state of AI. So under some certain conditions, our AI can change its state from one to another. So if we say, for example, this is my starting state, so it can be just the state that I'm standing still, so I'll just call it stand. And my next state would be S2. And in this state, I am dodging bullets, so I'll just call it dodge. And in my S3, the third state, I am shooting towards the player. I have exactly 3 states here: stand, dodge, and shoot. And to go from one state to another, I have to take an action. So my action from going from stand to dodge would be, for example, action 1, A1. And what is A1? I'll say that A1 is move right. Under some conditions, I take this action and I will go to state 2. But sometimes, for example, the bullet is on my right, so I have to take action 2. So I'll say A2, and A2 would be move left. To go to the shooting position, let's say I have to take action 3, and action 3 would be simply start shooting. So I'll just randomly start shooting, or my action could be something like, in a more complex game, I could say start aiming and then shoot. Since our action and our state have the same name here, they're very close and they actually are the same thing. So the action of shooting will take me to the state of shooting. I can also go from my stand state to my shooting state using A3. So it's the same thing. If I start shooting, I'll go to the shooting state. And all these actions, all these states, they are reversible. So I can go from shooting state also to the standing state. It's clear that if I, for example, I can draw a line like this. If I say my action 4 is just stop moving, I'll say SM. It means that I'm going to the stand position. And the same thing can be done for my S3. The last part is the most important part for us, is actually how we can implement this state machine. So the first thing that you have to do is to create your state machines or your decision trees that I'll show you very soon as well. You have to know what are your actions, what are your states for your AI, and each action will take you to which state. To go back to how to implement it, I would say the first thing is to create your state machines or your decision tree. The second thing is to create the pseudocode. I hope I write it well here. It looks kind of French, but I think we're good. And the last part would be coding. I'll show you here the decision tree as well. It's not much different from the state machine. The idea is the same. So the way we show it is different. So we have our starting state, which is S1. We have, for example, action 1, which goes to S2. And we have our action 3 that goes to S3. And we may have other actions as well. I'll just say N. So this is A1, A3, and AN. And this could be SN. And the tree continues down here and down here. Let's take a look at an example in our game. So this is our player here, and this would be our AI. To create a good AI, you have to know how well you can play your game. So you have to master your game to be able to create a very, very good AI. You have to know exactly what actions lead to what are the tricks in your game, what can actually make things difficult for the other player and things like that. This is very, very important. The more you know about your game, the better the AI that you can create. Let's see what we can do here with our player. So we can shoot, obviously, here, and we can move right and left. But what is the intelligent, what is the smart move when we play our game? So imagine our AI, our opponent, is shooting towards us. So you have to clear the way. So you just don't have to be in the way of the bullet. So here, this is dangerous. And imagine we'll have another bullet coming through here. I'll just create another bullet that's coming down. And I'll make it red here. And here, this is a danger zone. Imagine another bullet here. This is another danger zone. So as a player, as a smart player, not a noob player, you have to avoid these places. As you dodge the bullets and you avoid these dangerous zones, you have to shoot towards your enemy as well. The simplest way is to just shoot when you see the player in front of you. But as this game is an action game, is a fast-paced game, and our player are both of our players are on the move, when you shoot towards the player when he's in front of you, you don't have a big chance of hitting them. So the smart way is to actually shoot around them so that you can block them in a way so that your shot, maybe in the middle, will hit them eventually. It's kind of like if you don't have a strategy, you just shoot left and right randomly until one of them hits the AI. So our main strategy to create our AI would be, first of all, to dodge the bullets, dodge the dangerous zones, and to shoot towards the player. So in the next lesson, we'll take a look at the possible algorithms that we can create for our AI.